Hey Drew, how's it going?
Hi, Anthony. This sounds
Man,
different.
it is different. This is a different feeling, a different place.
Do you want to tell the fine people as to what is different, why is different, who is different, where is different?
Well, yeah. So what's going to be different today is we're not recording in the same room anymore. We've decided to use the wonders of the internet.
Wait, we're not recording in the same room.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're not,
We're not.
right? I'm pretty sure.
You sure about that? I don't want to. Okay.
I mean, I don't see you here, unless like you're like doing a weird thing behind me and I wasn't realizing it. I mean, yeah, we're not in the same room. This is the blank space, and we're just gonna fill it in with like random stuff. Yeah, I got the title at the beginning of the show this time.
Oh,
Boom, I did it.
name drop. Name
Name
dropped. Dropped like it was a hot coffee.
dropped like the mic at the Super Bowl. Transitions.
Did a great job, great job, great job, great job, great job, great job, good job, good job, great job.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what specifically would you like to give the people context as to our disposition towards the Super Bowl first?
So I actually learned that the Super Bowl was happening um, while I was at my job yesterday. Um, I'm a waiter, and I do waitering things. And I may have, while at work, been wondering why it was so empty and why nobody was showing up.
Uh huh.
Well, I learned during my shift that apparently the Super Bowl was happening. And I did it while I was trying to do like a BS, a pep talk to one of my coworkers. Hey, it's gonna get busier. It'll probably get busier around like 6:30 or something. Like we're just having a late start kind of thing. And they're like, yeah, probably. Like if the Super Bowl wasn't happening today. And I was like, oh, that explains so much. I didn't even know. Like
Oops.
I didn't even think that it was even remotely close to happening.
See, similar to you, I was at work, and at my work, there are tons of people who are super into football. So I could
Mm-hmm.
not know about this. I basically knew about this weeks in advance.
Uh huh.
So I knew when it was happening. I knew why it was slower than normal. But basically, yeah, we both don't follow. We both don't follow American football too closely.
We do not.
No,
We do not.
no.
But the halftime show that was pretty cool.
I mean,
You didn't see the halftime show?
no.
Oh,
I know what happened. I just do not know specifics.
okay. I mean, there was a lady. She sang, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was a Gaga, and a lot of people enjoyed it. She did Spider from the roof.
She basically did like a skydive.
Yep, yep. Big skydive off the roof. Had wires. That's why she's a spider. She
I
doesn't have
mean,
superpowers, so
oh,
at least I'm pretty sure she doesn't.
this is a lot less impressive now.
I
I
mean,
thought she just
still,
straight up did like a nosedive off of the roof and landed. She did the superhero pose.
I mean, it was kind of cool though. So there is that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that was the most interesting part of the Super Bowl for me, at least. I'm not sure what that says about me.
I mean, just not to football, I guess. I can
That's
relate.
about right. Yep, we did it. We talked about sports. We
Sports
did it for the year.
happened. Should we mention? Okay, well, real quick, Anthony,
Yes.
do you know who won the Super Bowl?
I believe it was the Patriots,
Yes,
right?
yes, it was
Cool.
the Patriots. Now, do you know why people don't like that they won?
Oh, I actually know this one.
Okay.
It's because they don't know how to handle balls.
There,
They do
there,
it incorrectly.
there are ways of putting it. You put it in a certain way.
I do my best.
Yes, they are known for Deflategate, in which they used a less than fully inflated football to make passing
Wait,
easier
wait.
and all that.
Did they do that again this year?
No, this year, as far as I know, was
Oh,
all above water. There
okay.
was obviously fighting leading up to the Super Bowl about like Why are they allowed to do that? Why are they allowed to be here? They cheated at one point, yada yada. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously they've won, so they're allowed a little bit of leeway since they beat it clean this time.
Mm-hmm. And apparently, like a bunch of people are mad at the Ravens. That's who it was,
Yeah,
right?
so basically, up until the last 10 minutes of the game, the Ravens were beating the Patriots by quite a bit. Like, I think it was something like 20 points.
Oh,
Um, and in the last 10 minutes of the game, the Patriots were able to score enough to tie them, which pushed them into overtime. And then the Patriots were able to score in overtime, so they won.
you know what I learned today?
Hmm?
I learned that overtime is something that could happen in football.
Jesus.
I'm just
Oh.
being. I'm just letting you know what's up. You know?
So, I think that perfectly leads into a topic I would like to bring up. I want to
All
make
right.
this a regular thing. I mentioned this last time. Um, I want to go over things Anthony doesn't know about the world. So,
Okay.
so
This is a.
hmm?
Sounds like it's going to be mean, but I'm okay with
I,
this.
I mean, after last time, you mentioned you don't really know music and bands and all that. And last time I promised I was gonna bring up some musicians and songs that I think are popular enough to be in the public consciousness. Like, even if you've never really listened to them, you should at least know who they are and know maybe a couple of songs. Okay?
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna name a few bands,
All right.
and you tell me if you've heard of them or if you can name any of their songs.
Okay. Cool. I actually like this. Let's go for it.
Okay, alright then. So, we're gonna start out really, really easy, alright? Really, really
Whew.
easy.
I'm ready to disappoint.
Okay, so there's this Swedish band named. No, I'm kidding.
All
so,
right.
so number one,
I thought we were going. I thought we were going to go with ABBA or something like that. I was actually a little excited.
okay. Well, do you know ABBA?
Yes,
Okay, can you
I
name
did it.
can you name their songs that are not in the Mamma Mia musical?
Winner takes it all.
Well, you know a
Is
song
that in
I
the
don't, so
musical?
let's just go with that. I don't know ABBA very well.
I mean, I know it because I don't know why actually. That's like one of those things where I just kind of picked up, and I just know it for some reason. It's not even from the musical itself. I've never seen the musical,
Hmm.
but like I just know ABBA for some reason. It's like just one of those random people that you just know for no reason.
I was gonna say like that's how I feel about a lot of these bands I'm going to mention. That they're popular enough that you should really just know them, or at least know
Okay.
some of their songs. All right,
All
so
right.
number one, I'm gonna pick an easy one. Do you know who Kanye West is?
I know of him.
Okay, can you name a song of his?
No, I straight up
Not
cannot.
not a single one.
No, not even.
All right. Okay.
I got nothing.
Well, tell you what. I'll push the dial back easier.
Okay.
Lady Gaga. Obviously, you know her.
Yeah, I know
Do,
her. She's a person.
do you
I had a
know?
friend that was super into her music at one point.
I mean, I think we all have been or know someone who's been really into her music.
Yeah.
I mean, I like her music a lot, but I would never say like I'm like a diehard fan. But can you name any of her songs?
I can actually. Poker Face. That counts, right?
Yes. All right. So, moving the dial up a little harder.
All right, I'm ready for this.
Radiohead.
All right, so that name sounds familiar, but I have no idea what they do. Like I know it's a band.
Okay, I was about to say that that's concerning. So,
Is
hmm?
is this where I lose my man cred or like what I don't know what's going to happen now.
So their most famous song is "Creep." Have you ever heard "Creep"?
I mean, I've seen Creep.
Seen "Creep"?
I mean, we've all seen Creep. We've all been to
Well,
Walmart.
we have all witnessed that one person. You know.
You know that like one guy that's like in like the feminine aisle, and like he really doesn't belong. And besides the point, um,
I mean, the song does kind of fit that, but also the lead
okay,
singer is calling himself a creep. But that's beside the point.
all right,
So
okay,
Radiohead, not super familiar. All right, let's dial it back a little easier. How about David
okay,
Bowie?
yeah, I know of him.
Okay, do you know some of his music?
I feel like I should. Like I definitely know music.
In
That
general,
has David Bowie.
in the broad
I
definition of
know that
music.
he has done music, and I probably know some of his songs. Like if you like if they were played to me, I know that's him. But other than that,
If I
no.
heard them, I would definitely know it was him. If you told me beforehand it was him, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean, he did that Goblin movie.
he, yes, he was in Labyrinth. Yes,
Yes, he was.
him in all of his glory. He
Yes.
composed most of the music for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you name that movie? Can you name music from that movie?
Oh hell no! I gotta
Anthony,
live up to my name.
Anthony, you remind me of the Babe.
The what?
Babe with the power.
Okay.
Power of voodoo.
Okay.
Never mind, this isn't working. All right.
Wait. Are these clues for the
This
songs?
this is direct lyrics from the song.
Oh, I fucked up. I'm sorry.
Great. All right, let's bump up the difficulty slider a little bit more.
Okay.
Do you know Bjork?
I mean the chef from the Muppets?
That is Swedish Chef. That is not.
He says Bjork, right?
I, I don't know if we're being offensive right now, so moving on.
Okay. This isn't going well, Drew.
Hold on. I've got a whole list of them here.
All right, I'm gonna turn this back on you now.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Who was the Romanian dictator in the of Romania?
The Romanian dictator of Romania.
Yeah.
I see you've pulled out your strong suits.
All one pair.
So we're playing poker, and I'm sitting here with a full house,
Yep.
and you're sitting there with a pair of twos, and you're like, you got some to beat these pair of twos. And
Basically, I'm pulling out random knowledge that I have from somewhere that may or may not get me anywhere.
I do not know the Romanian dictator.
Ceausescu. Bam. You
What
don't know things.
was he in Civilization?
No, he was not.
Oh, okay. Well, I figure I'm a little safer with pop music rather than dictators, but that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, hey, you got your strengths and I got my weaknesses.
Just a tiny bit, tiny bit. I'm looking through these and just looking to see if there's anyone in particular that I'd love to see if you knew.
Okay, you know what? We need to do rapid fire. All right.
All right, that works.
Okay.
I can do that. I can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Just say names and I'm going to say yes or no, or is that broccoli?
I well, now I have to bring up a list of broccoli names just to mix that in every once in a while.
Mini trees is one.
Mini trees?
You've never looked at broccoli and thought they were just mini trees?
I mean, yes, but
Mini trees is. Anyway, come on, rapid fire me.
all right.
Come on,
Okay.
give me all you got.
Okay.
Go in.
All right.
I believe in you.
So you said you knew Springsteen, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
I do know Springsteen. Okay.
That's a big one. Coldplay.
Coldplay. Shoot. I do know one of his songs. It's at the tip of my tongue. It's almost there.
Hmm.
In Paradise, right? That's one of
That's
his.
definitely one of theirs. Multiple.
Right. Oh wait, hold up. Actually, I feel like this is a more important part. Coldplay is a band, not a
Yes.
person.
It is not broccoli.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
All right.
Metallica.
They do metal.
Yes. Yes. Can you name their music?
No.
Okay. We have Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. He did The Wall, which is a movie and
It's an
and a
album.
song
It's an album turned into a
and
movie.
yes.
Perfect. Madonna.
Um, I know. I know for some reason a lot of people thought she was a hoe. She did music.
Do me a favor. Mark that down for a moment, and I'll come back to that and explain why. But we'll
All
keep
right.
moving.
I think she did Virgin, so that makes it ironic, right? That was a song? Like a virgin?
This is hard. Okay. Do you know Neil Young?
I have no idea who that is.
Oh God. All right. Here we go.
Not even like ballpark.
Okay. Super easy. Bob Marley.
Yeah, I know him. He did like reggae stuff.
Yes. Okay. Good. All right. You're on track for that.
All
Let's
right.
go with White Stripes.
Is that like a type of toothpaste or?
That is a band.
Oh.
Still a band.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Tell me about them. Do they? What do they do? Do they do racing music? I feel like they would do like a Need for Speed album or something.
I I can't with you right now. They are a rock group.
Okay.
They've done a lot of songs. Have you ever played Guitar Hero?
Yes.
There's a couple of White Stripes songs on the early ones. You probably know, like
The only through through the fire and flames. That's what I know. That's what I remember. Cause that was hard.
my God. Do you know who Tim McGraw is?
He's a country singer.
Okay, all right, good, 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 good,
He does music from the country.
good description. Okay. Do you know who the Who are?
Who are you? Who?
Okay, all right, okay. We finally hit one that you do know.
Yeah, I got this.
Okay, all right. Do you know who Birdseye is?
A bad name for a album?
No,
Music creator?
no, no. They make broccoli.
What?
They make broccoli. They're a broccoli band.
What?
They're a brand who make broccoli. They make vegetables and they're called Birdseye.
Oh, okay. I see what you did now. It took me a moment to figure out what you were even referring to, and it makes me also realize that I don't go to the store as much as I should.
Well, to be fair, I mixed that in with a bunch of bands.
You did. I felt like that was a little unfair.
I, I I'll concede that a little bit. But there's certainly a little bit of bands you should catch up on. Just a tad, just a tiny bit.
All right. How about this? How about this?
Okay.
I'll do some homework next time, right?
Yes.
And we just go deep into bands. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And then
By that I mean like I'll not do homework and we'll forget about this and we'll do something else.
I'm telling you, next week there's gonna be more stuff you might not know about. I'm gonna catch
Is
up
this
on
good?
all the football that happened this season. Test you on it.
Okay, that's fair. I feel like we need to have like a third person in here, just be like, "What do you not know?" And like they be like really knowledgeable about that. Like, and it's just general stuff. Like, and we should just go glass-eyed. Actually, that sounds like a very bad podcast. Let's not do that.
I was gonna say here's the thing. I feel like I would probably be on board with you for a bit of it. Just stuff that everyone should know about. I'm probably not in that camp, but we'll see. We'll see.
Like, if there's degrees of how much you should know, I'm probably below you. So you're lording over me,
Lord,
with the knowledge you do have.
do you know Lord?
She did. I think she did like one song,
I
right?
mean, she did an album. One song got popular, but yes. Okay, so you do know that is a music artist.
Yeah, I do. All right, hold on here. I feel like we need to talk about like a very pressing matter. All right, this is something that I've come across, and that it's kind of captivated me a little bit. How often do you check your voicemail?
Uh, like relatively often, but only when I have
Really?
calls. Like, I don't check it when I don't have missed calls, but I mean, I also get a message on my phone that tells me I have new voicemail.
Because like I feel like I never ever check voicemail, ever. Like even if I know I got a voicemail, I'll be like, I just don't feel like it.
So,
Like I am 10 times more likely to see something if it's like sent to me via message or messenger or something like that or.
no, I will agree with you there. That texting me
Mm-hmm.
is the easiest way to get a hold of me. Now, this turns into phone etiquette 101, though. This turns into
Okay.
how should you try reaching me as an Andrew? Uh,
Okay.
reaching me,
This is fair actually.
reaching me as an Andrew is you text me or
Okay.
Facebook message, however you want to get in contact with me.
Well, hold up. I feel like we need to outline, like what do you use?
What do you mean?
Like do you I know personally I use Messenger, right? Okay. I definitely use texting.
Mm-hmm.
Calling is an acceptable method for sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Um Skyping, that's a thing, right? And email, maybe.
Yeah, I mean the hierarchy for me is calling.
Oh,
Calling will get my attention if I know who you are. If I do not have your number, don't expect an answer ever, because I get like 4 or 5 calls a day from telemarketers,
mm-hmm.
so that's fun. Texting or Facebook messaging is second on that rung, which is basically
Okay.
if I get a text, you're getting an answer back relatively quickly. If you Facebook message me, that's somewhat going on the back burner a little bit, depending where I am.
Okay.
So they're kind of even. If you have to catch me by email, that will take a bit for me to get back to you, but I will get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
I actually used to have like a pen pal situation where basically like we would keep we would talk to each other via email or what what was in the very beginning deviant art messages, because that was the only way that like she knew how to be. Well, I guess there was other ways we could have kept in contact, but she had a
Mm-hmm.
DeviantArt account, and this was in the time of the internet when chatting was basically AOL Instant Messenger and and websites that have forums and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So we chose the forum way; it was a little bit easier. But
Okay.
I will answer. I will answer emails. I will do that. That's fine.
I feel like for me, the best way to contact me is on Messenger. Actually, um, I'm I'm always checking Messenger. It's the easiest I feel to actually text with, if that's weird. And plus, I can just go on my computer and give a full on message that way.
Yeah.
So it's shared between them, so it makes it extra easy. The second easiest way is probably messaging. Just regular text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Third probably goes down to, I would actually say email, believe it or not, because I check my email fairly regularly,
Yeah.
like at least every day or two.
Now the thing is with me is with my phone, I get a notification for everything, which is why your question about voicemail is odd to me. Only because if I
Well,
give a
here's the thing, though, right? For me, like if you call me, I am most likely not going to answer
mm-hmm.
because for one, I'm probably not looking at my phone, and I usually have it on silent most times. And if you called me, I'm probably just going to send you a message, be like, "Hey, what's up?" and not even bother looking at the voicemail. Well, listening to the voicemail.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it?
Like that's just what I'm more likely to do.
Do you ever have this happen? Do you ever get a voicemail or get a call and then you send a text back saying, "Hey, what's up?" and then that person just calls you again?
No.
Hmm. I have that
I
happen
mean,
more
like,
times than I could think.
I think I've had that happen like at least once. I mean, but like it's not a common thing. It's be like, hey, what's up? I'm at work though. That's a thing. Like for me, I'm usually doing something else,
Hmm.
like or something along those lines, like in a place where I can't be called. Like, hey, so what's going on?
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
And that's the thing with me is like calling me is fine. I will answer sometimes, but most of the time my day is pretty packed. So calling me is a is like a coin toss of like, am I busy or am I not busy?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
real quick, so what is phone etiquette then? Where how fast can people expect a response time from you if they call you or if they text you?
If they send it on Messenger, I normally will see it unless I'm at work within 5 minutes.
Hmm.
Like I can easily get back to them in 5 minutes if I'm not at work. Most of the time, though, I probably don't feel like getting back to them though, so that's also a thing. But yeah, I usually can get back to people like very rapidly.
Yeah.
Um, just calls by themselves, probably like a few hours or something like that. Like I normally don't call back people, or again, I'll just send them a message unless it's like a family member that I know that does not use that.
Hmm.
Then yeah,
Yeah, and the thing with me is all things all things that are said to me more or less, depending how busy I am, can be put in the back burner. And that's why Facebook Messenger for me is like kind of sort of on a lower rung than text messages, because text messages I feel like the person has my phone number, so obviously they're on they're on some kind of level with me. While Facebook Messenger, literally anyone I'm friends with on Facebook can message me. So that sometimes has gone on the complete back burner, which is just like, okay, I mean, I'll get to this when I get off work or when I do that. I don't know. I feel like that way of trying to get in contact with me just not as immediate.
mm-hmm.
Especially if you're like in a group chat or something like that, where it's just like six people in a chat, where it's like, okay, I'm I'm trying to keep up. I'm not keeping up. All right, I'll catch up later.
Yeah, I can get you. I can understand that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But with the whole voicemail thing, the thing that's weird about that is I don't receive very many voicemails. So for me, when I do get one, it's like, oh, this is actually important. Somebody wanted to leave me something. Most of the time, it's something simple like, oh, hey, I'm calling you, call me back, or something like that. But still, it's usually not like someone telling me a story. It's saying, oh, I try to get in contact with you, call me back.
Yeah,
This is why.
I feel like most voicemails boil down to, "Hey, call me back," which is something you can just much easier to be sent in a message than just just sending it in voicemail because you have to dial up your voicemail and it's just a separation thing where you could just read it if it's just sent in a message. Like half the time, like if I get somebody's voicemail right and I'm calling them like, "Hey, it's me, Anthony. I'm just gonna be call me back. You know what? I'll just send you a message. Don't listen to this," and then hang it up.
Yeah, it. You know what's weird to me?
What?
How, unless I've missed something, how is it we don't have like a system where I can just send someone a voicemail? Like I can call them and there's no like ring ring ring, they don't pick up. You just immediately send them a voicemail. You say, "Hey, this is what I wanted to tell you. I don't need a response. This is just information I'm saying with words."
I mean, you can do that,
What? No, no,
but I
what
mean, like but it'd be like making a little audio video on your phone though. So actually, you know what? We call that Snapchat.
That's what I was gonna say. We have like Snapchat, but I mean specifically like a voice thing, like just built into your phone. You don't need an app for it. Just simply like, hey, I want to leave a voicemail for someone. Just do this, send. Good. That person now has that information. There's no need for me to call them or text them. They have all the
I see what
information.
you're saying, right? But I also find that's completely useless. At what point would you want to send a voicemail when you could just send a text message?
Um, there's plenty of things where I've come up against where text messages would be very long, and I would rather just say it. I mean, that also comes into me just using the voice functionality on my phone, where it's just like send text,
Te-
and then just say the text, and it kind of like voice to text it.
I got you. I got you.
But at the same time, like I don't want to send them like a 7-page novel. I just want to send them like a quick thing.
I got you. I got you. Hmm.
I could see some use in it. I certainly get what you mean, where it's like it's not going to be the best thing in the world. It's not going to be the most used thing in the world. But I could see it certainly being of some help.
Okay.
Yeah. But as for voicemail, it's important. It's just not the most important for me.
What we need is text to talk that instantly does it. That would be a much
We need
better. Just like forget the voicemail itself. This is what we think it said. Which we
actually
know would be horrible.
that is a thing.
I know it's a thing, and it could be bad. It could be good. But que sera, sera.
I know on our voicemail at home, we have a home phone, but no one ever really calls it, so it doesn't really ever happen. But every once in a while, when we get a voicemail, and oh, sorry, in our email, we receive a message that says you have a voicemail. Would you like us to transcribe it? And I've never tried it, but I imagine it's not great.
Do you want me to call your house?
No, no,
I
thank
mean,
you.
I can just do that for you, and just tell your mom not to answer the phone, I guess.
Hey, mom.
Or I could do it.
Sorry, don't answer the phone right now. We're testing something.
And it's ridiculous, stupid, but something we're still both going to somewhat enjoy.
You know what? I think I'm good. Tell you what, next week, if we remember, remind me, and we will go over the results. I'll bring up like an old voicemail or something.
Okay. But yeah, I know the one thing I wanted to try and talk about was DLC. Actually, that downloadable content stuff.
For them
Like,
games in video form.
ooh, yes. Like how much is like too much?
So, I remember bringing this up to you at one point.
Mm-hmm. And I completely hijacked it.
You stole my topic. How could you?
It was fun, and it was free.
So the thing I would preface this with is it's going to be different per game.
Yep.
Like obviously if you get a virtual chess game, adding DLC to it is more or less a one-time deal where it's like, "Oh, here's a skin pack for your chess game." But if they release 70 expansions, probably not the best thing. And
Yeah, I can agree with
now
that.
that's a specific example, but I imagine you're talking more about the
Like,
the rule of thumb.
yeah, like what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. Like, at what point are you just not making a full game kind of deal?
I I mean, this is a very broad topic basically, where whenever a game releases, at least these days, a season pass or some kind of DLC is linked with it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know the one game I'm looking forward to right now is a game called For Honor, which is basically a game where you play as knights, Vikings, or samurai,
Okay.
and basically it's one big battle royal between them all, where basically you're just swinging at each other with all these different melee weapons from all these different eras, and it looks really really cool. One
Okay.
thing, one thing though with it is that if I can bring it up very quickly, is that the game already has some kind of DLC attached to it, I believe. Let
Okay.
me bring this up just to make sure I know what I'm talking
Because
about
I
here.
know I have games which definitely have massive massive amounts of DLC for sure. That it's actually probably a little ridiculous of how much DLC they have. I mean, some games have like $1,000 worth,
Hmm.
like Train Simulator.
Yeah, that's immediately what I jumped to a little bit when you were like, "Let's talk about DLC." I'm like, "Ooh, let's see what we can talk about with Train Simulator." It's like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, for those that don't know, Train Simulator is one of those games where it's basically, you know, those train nut people that
I actually do not know these people. These people are foreign to me.
I've known at least two. And it allows you to be one of those train nuts, except, you know, on in a game.
Yeah,
You get to collect different models and all that kind of stuff, and you can put them on tracks, and you can put them all around, all that kind of stuff.
you
Except it allows you to do it in a game.
yeah, you basically overview a train company. You control like the trains where they go, which tracks they take, what kind of trains, that kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, but like the amount of DLC for this is it's over like $1,000, like well over $1,000. Like, oh wait, I'm not sorry, I was wrong. It is well over $1,000. It's $6,000.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yep, yep, yep.
I just took a look at it. Oh my, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's certainly a little overkill, but here's the thing I would argue.
Okay.
I think having this game, which has, I brought it up myself. Oh God, there's
Okay.
so much to scroll through. This game that has over $6,000 of DLC is an okay kind of DLC.
Okay. Why is that?
I believe it's okay because the entirety of the people playing the entire fan base of this game are people who really enjoy simulating trains. They enjoy it
Hmm.
to a degree that is incredibly niche. Like this game is not for everyone. I honestly own the game through some means. I'm honestly going to have to go back and figure out why I own this, but that's beside the point. the The game itself is for a very niche audience. It's not for everyone, but the people who do enjoy it have specific interests. And adding this kind of game to Steam,
Hmm.
basically, or any platform really, has these. Hmm, let me make sure I get
Okay.
these words out. Okay.
Okay, I believe in you. You got this. I believe in the Drew that believes in Drew.
Ooh, adding this game to Steam basically can only include so many trains in the base product. There's only so
Okay.
much it can involve in the beginning. I'm sure it involves a great many trains to begin with. But obviously, the people who are playing this game love all kinds of trains, from old to new to classic to modern to any number of them. So them putting out this much DLC makes sense because these people want this in their game. And I mean, to be realistic, making these products is not cheap. Like whether it's time sink, paying your employees, or any number of things, it costs them money to make each and every piece of this DLC. So it's going to cost a little bit more. But since the audience is so into the product, they're willing to pay for it.
So what you're saying, it's okay because this is something that not a lot of people are going to buy,
Right.
and they know not a lot of people are going to buy, but the people that buy it are willing to sink a lot of money into it.
Yeah, basically, it's something that it's very niche, and the not only the company accepts it, the audience itself accepts it. They're saying like, well, I understand. I'm gonna have to spend money to make this a reality, and that's how it is. How about you? How
Okay.
about you? What are your feelings on this?
I'm not going to lie, what you just said made a lot of sense to me. I feel like this is a model that could definitely not work for really any other type of game though. Because I think well, hold on here.
Okay.
I think there is a definite limit to what you can how much you can charge for something. I think $6,000 is an extreme this is the extreme amount, okay? This is something that's a bit of a ludicrously high.
It certainly
But
is.
I mean, I can kind of see it kind of working, but for me, I feel like there's only so much you can charge for something for it to be worth that much, right? Like I couldn't see anybody paying that for any other type of game I would play, like for like a Civilization game or like from a Call of Duty map pack or map packs or anything like that,
Mm.
right? Like it's just ridiculous. Like there's definitely an amount to which is just way too much.
Yeah, they're
But also feel like, you know what, this just may be a unique little ecosystem kind of deal where it's different than how most games can be charged. I still see this as absurdly high for what they do. But then again, I'm not the audience for this.
Yeah, and the way I see it is that the people who are playing this game are not buying every piece of DLC.
I feel like that's also fair to
I
point out too.
I don't believe they're picking up this North Jersey Coast DLC for $10 and also picking up this one piece of DLC that's $40.
Mhm.
They're probably picking up
Mhm.
what interests them. And since this game has a niche audience, everyone's going to have a different interest.
That's true. That's true.
I imagine if we did go through every single one of these DLCs and tried to figure out who owns what, you would see that not everyone owns this. Not everyone owns like every piece of DLC. Some are probably more than others. Like just going briefly
Mhm.
through, I'm looking at the reviews for a lot of these. Like One Piece actually is reviewed mostly negatively, which means that it's like maybe 1 out of
There's
10
some
people said it's bad. It's just straight bad,
gotcha.
as
And
opposed to.
like some
Hmm?
so basically it's just like, you know, it varies per. Not everybody's going to get every single bit and not every single bit's for every person.
Yeah,
I get that.
yeah.
So that does kind of make it a little different then. So I guess what we should be asking for is like for more regular games, like what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. Because I know I play a lot of games where it's they have a lot of downloadable content for them. Like I'm looking at Crusader Kings right now. It's basically a game that allows you to play as a noble house from like 800 AD to like 1400s or something like that, and you have to make your dynasty live on. I personally love that game. It's a lot of fun, but it also has a lot of DLC to it. It's like $260 for all the DLC it has right now.
Hmm.
That's a lot. But I also feel like now Crusader Kings is a niche game in its own right. Okay? But I also feel like they do something that makes this price tolerable. I'm not saying I bought all of this, but they do put sales out to make it more tolerable.
Hmm.
Like they don't expect everybody to pay $260 for the entire package kind of deal, right? They put sales up periodically to like half the game prices, and a lot of the DLC they have here is just fluff. Like it's a unit pack which just reskins a few units, or they have like, you know, little song things that they put out that they get actually have studios record with live bands and stuff like that. Like that's like a bunch of their DLC they have here. It's just little extra stuff that, you know, doesn't add anything to the game, but you can get if you think it's really cool.
You never count any of it as a large majority of it as essential, as something that
Mm-hmm.
the game is lesser because you don't own this.
Mm-hmm. But there are still quite a few DLCs though that are essential. Like they have at least, I think it's like 7 or 8 DLCs on this game. Granted, this is also a game from 2012, so they've been developing this for a long time after the release. So it's kind of acceptable since it's been such a long time since they've been developing this, giving free updates and all that kind of thing. It makes that DLC worth it, and they've been doing this for like 6 years now.
Yeah,
So the DLC, it's not an all at once kind of deal. It's something that's been released over time, and it's something they've been doing the tweak gameplay and doing free DLC on the side as well. So I kind of see this as fair.
Hmm.
But I guess what the question is, what makes DLC unfair? Because I can justify it for Crusader Kings here, and that's like $250 worth. And there's a lot of games where there's a $60 game, and suddenly, adding $20 of DLC onto it, it's like, hey, this is like too much. So, what makes DLC unfair? What do you think, Drew?
Hmm. See, there's two ends of it. One
Uh huh.
one end, at least in my opinion, is on a personal level. On a personal level, there is the DLC that I just don't like.
Okay.
That I just don't really like. I don't think is a fair practice or something like that. And then there's DLC that across the board most everyone is not happy with.
Okay.
What what would you consider a DLC that people in general just aren't happy with?
Hmm. I would probably say map packs, like for like shooters,
Hmm.
because like they kind of divide like multiplayer communities and such. But like I also can't expect them to be like given out for free. But oh, I know ones that are like they have shoot, what's the word for it? They have it. They have the DLC like ready to be shipped when the game's released.
Right, right. It's certainly it's certainly something that should be included in the game more or less. Like something that is
Mm-hmm. Like things that should be in the release game instead of being sold separately.
right.
Like that always feels very cheap.
Yeah, I feel like you hit the nail kind of on the head with that where the generally the ones that are not okay by anyone's means are ones that either split the community or ones that just seem like they were split off of the game for no good reason. Um, Obviously, day one DLC kind of stuff is something that you can definitely point to as saying, well, why isn't this in the game? Why wasn't this exactly included?
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, there's not a there's not a lot of that in with meaningful DLC. Like a lot of the DLC I see on day ones for games is usually skins for things, reskins of either characters or reskins of weapons or something like that. It's different stuff that isn't essential. That's where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to it. Isn't essential to the game to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, there's other ends of it where it's like, oh, this is a whole mission left out of the game that really should have been included because I mean, I'm buying the game. Why do I have to buy more after the so shortly after the fact?
So I guess really it comes down to just what feels fair. Like, do you feel like something's fair, or do you feel something's not fair?
Yeah, absolutely. It really comes down to a personal level, but obviously, like I said earlier, it there's a personal level that's just you, or there's a personal level that is widespread that everyone kind of agrees is BS. Something that I think is a little odd is we'll go back to Civilization.
Okay.
With Civilization, I feel like some of the games get a pass because the game is known to become better when the expansion releases. Now, to give people a little bit of insight, when uh, when a Civilization game comes out, sometimes it's reviewed for being lesser than the previous one. Like it's either missing features that the previous one had, or it doesn't feel as balanced as the previous one. But most of the time, when I read reviews of Civilization games, they say, "Oh, well, it's fine because when the expansion comes out, it'll fix the problems." Now, the problem I take with this is that the expansions usually are not free.
Mm-hmm.
They are usually paid endeavors. Like for instance, um, Civilization 5, its DLCs are $20, I believe. something like that, where it costs a fair bit of money to own the complete product of that game.
Okay.
Yeah, if I look at it right now, it's actually $30 for the DLC for that for the expansions of that game. And some would argue that the game without those expansions is not complete. It's not a full game,
Okay.
and that's where
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
yeah,
Yeah, that is a little bit more on the sketchy side, and you can say that. I guess you can say that a company can put out a certain amount of goodwill with its player base because the player base is expecting things to get better.
hmm
I suppose, and if a player base is willing to put up with that, I guess that makes it okay.
yeah,
I mean, and I guess it's again just coming down to whether you find something acceptable or whether it's not. I mean, it's definitely not a good practice for sure. But I guess it's what people are willing to put up with is what really dictates whether it's good or not, right? I mean, that's kind of what Civilization teaches me with that, or most of these games that put out DLC. Like I think the only one that really had like a huge backlash, like from its DLC, like how it was gonna do it, was Evolve, right?
yeah. That game generally was not well received when it was announced because it was announced alongside with its DLC, and its DLC was meaningful content, like a full monster in the game or
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The and the whole thing was that you needed like a spreadsheet just to understand like what were you gonna have to do, and basically you're gonna pay $60 for a full game, and the full game wasn't going to be there.
hmm
I guess that also comes down to what's like an acceptable price for like content in general. Like, is $60 okay for the full game, or does $60 mean you're getting a full game, or what does it mean exactly? I guess.
Well, that again also comes down to personal preference because what I consider an acceptable price for a game will not be across the board accepted.
Yeah. Like, what do you think it is? What do you think? Like, should $60 be for like a fully functional game, and like $40 maybe they can add in DLC, or like, what do you think it should be?
It really depends on the game. Like it's really going
Okay.
to come down to the game in particular. So, I mean, tell you what, I'll go through a few of
You
the
know what? You know what I feel like we should do.
hmm?
I feel like we should review a game. Like, just like be like, hey, this is why we think it's good. This is why it might be good, and maybe include it like now.
Sure. It would
Yeah.
depend on the game if I played it, but absolutely.
Hmm. Sure. Sure. Well, we'll go ahead first with what you were going to do, though.
Well, I was going to say I'm just going to go on to the newest releases for
Uh huh.
PC through Steam. And I mean, I'll give you an idea if like I consider them good prices for games.
Okay. Sure. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, like
So, what's the newest one you can think of?
well, the newest big game that I can see at least coming out was probably Resident Evil 7. Um
Okay. How much was that anyway?
that was $60. Now, I would consider that a little pricey for the game, but only because I know exactly what's in the game. When it came out, no one really knew how much was going to be in there. But
Yeah, I would consider that a bit high, to be honest. I mean, it was great for what it
yeah,
was,
absolutely.
but I definitely don't feel like it. I would not pay. I definitely would not pay $60 for it.
Yeah. It it'll
I watched a play.
me too. It it I don't know. I guess this won't really work only because like obviously some of these games are just not are going to come down to personal preference. Like what I'd pay $60 for is not what someone else would pay $60 for. And what I would consider a fair price of like $15 for a game might still be too much for someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, or you could just be one of those people that doesn't want to pay full price for things
yeah,
as well,
that too.
and just wait for
Well,
sales. I mean, I'm definitely one of those people.
here's an example. Um, you know Uno, right?
Yeah.
So a PC version of Uno has come out to Steam. I'm sure there was a version
Okay.
before this, but at the same time, so what would you pay to play Uno on your PC with friends online?
Probably $5.
$5 sounds about fair.
$5 sounds fair to me.
I don't.
At any point.
I don't know if I would even pay $5.
Really?
No, it.
I mean, you know what? $5 would be $5, and everybody else already bought it.
I would say that's more fair. Is $5 to $10 for like a 4 pack of the game. It because I'll compare it to an actual deck of Uno, which I mean I could probably pick up for $5, but at the same time I don't need to be
Well,
seated at my
you could
computer.
probably get it for like $2.
Yeah,
But
even
I
that.
see it as this way, right? Like you could definitely get added value since, like, for one, Uno itself is not worth a lot,
No.
but it's the fact that you can now have it at any point, play it at any time, kind of deal.
Yeah, and you can carry it with you where you don't need your PC for it, and your friends don't have to own the game as well. There's a lot to take into effect when talking about the price of a game. And I mean, for a game that is as commonly played as Uno, it seems kind of difficult to say. By the way, the game is out right now for $10 on Steam.
Oh,
It seems like a bit much to say like,
oh,
oh yeah, let me just pick this up.
yeah. That's a bit.
Yeah.
That's a bit much.
So it really comes down to personal preference, but obviously there are some exceptions where it's like,
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. I guess that's kind of what it comes down to. Congrats. We have come down to the decision that it is personal preference that decides the
we've
day.
come down to the decision that is your decision.
All right, I'm wrong. What's your take then?
No, no, no. I mean,
Talk
no,
to
no, no.
me.
That's what I mean. Like, it is your decision, as in you, like
Oh wait, I
yourself.
mistook that. I was a fool.
You certainly were. Just a little bit.
I do my best. But yeah, cool. Sweet. We've gone through topics and it's under an hour. We have done things today, Drew.
Oh, certainly. We've tested out the boundaries of the internet, recording this.
Yes, we have. Who do you think our sponsors were?
Uh, I don't know. I would love to hear though.
Well, I'll say one of our sponsors were the halftime show.
Wow, they sponsored us.
No, but I'm
Oh,
trying to make a bit.
oh, but really, did they sponsor? I want some money from this if they did. I want some.
No,
I want.
no, nobody cares about us.
Oh,
We are just two dudes talking. It's a format.
it is a format.
Oh well. No sponsors then, Drew. You don't want to play along today.
I I just didn't quite know where you were going with it. You were like, let's talk about sponsors. I'm like, wait, do we actually have?
No, Drew. Nobody cares about us. There are metaphorical sponsors, like the halftime show, or like musicians I can't remember already.
From time to time, I feel like you should mention that to me and see if eventually I catch on.
All
This
right.
is not
I
the
mean, like, I've
time.
tried, and we got some traction the first time, but not this time.
Not this time. Not this time.
All right. Anyway, this was the blank space. We sure as heck filled it in with something.
Something.
Something. Have a nice one, folks.
And